Good morning, class. Today we are going to go through the answers to your workbook, page 200 to 201. Okay, let's turn to your textbook, your workbook, page 200 and 201. I'm going to go through the questions that are in that particular page. Okay, alright, so can we just take out your workbook? Now, for question number 3, okay, for question number 3, alright, for question number 3, this is how you do your solution, okay, alright. The question asks, how much money will she have at the end of 2 years? So this is a simple interest question. We'll use I equals to PRT over 100. We substitute in the values, we get 500. Because they want the total amount, we have to add them up and give the answer as $25,500. That is your question number 3. For question number 4, there are 2 parts. Now let's take a look at part A. Part A requires you to find the total amount. So we fill in all the necessary information. We put it into the formula. We will get 11375, and the total amount will be 65,000 plus 11375. You will get 76,375 for question 4A answer. Alright, then for part B, she pays back the loan in monthly installments. How much does she pay per month? Now all of you must realize that 5 years is actually 60 months. Okay, 60 months. So the amount paid per month will be this total amount divided by the number of months. You get a 1272.92. That will be your answer to question 4B. Okay, I'm moving on to question 5. Question 5 is a straightforward question because it talks about compound interest. So if it is compound interest, I just use the compound interest formula. I plug in the necessary data and I will get the answer. Now this answer is given to the nearest cent, that is 2 decimal place. Okay, so this is your answer to question number 5. Okay, now I'm moving on to question number 6. Alright, question number 6. Question number 6 looks a little bit complicated, but actually it is not. For part A, I'm using the compound interest formula. I plug in 55,000, 3 and 15. I key in the calculator, I'll get the answer. Okay. For part B, is simple interest. It's simple interest. So I use the simple interest formula. But don't forget, I'm finding the total amount, so I will get this answer. Okay, now the question in part C says, okay, which saving plans gives a better return? A better return means higher interest. Now you'll see that the total amount here is higher than this amount, so therefore plan M is the one that will give a better return. Plan M is the one that will give a higher return. Okay, so this is your question 3, 4, 5 and 6 in your workbook from page 200 to 201. Okay, now I'm going on to the next section, and that is your GST. Can all of you turn to page 351? Page 351 that talks about GST. Now GST is the goods and services tax. Okay, now let's look at what it means here. Now the GST rate is determined by the Singapore government and may vary over time. All goods purchased in Singapore are subjected to 7% GST, while all services provided are subjected to 10% service charge. Okay, Now I'm moving on to the next page, page 352, and I'm straight away going into example 11. Okay, let's look at example 11. Now example 11 says that a laptop cost 2500. Find the cost of the laptop with 7% GST. Now if it's 7% GST, I'm finding 107%. So I multiply, I will get the answer 2675. Okay, now let's look at question in the example 12. Okay, now example 12 says that Roy brought his family to a restaurant for dinner. The orders came up to $82. The prices and items in the restaurant are subjected to 10% service charge, followed by 7% GST. How much did he have to pay? Give your answer to the nearest cent. Now, first of all, with 10% of service charge, we will have to pay 110%. Okay, 110%. I will have $90.20. Okay, now this amount, $90.20, is charged with 7% GST. So 7% GST will be total amount paid will be 107% of 90.20, so it's 96.51. Okay, so the total amount to be paid is 96.51. Okay, now let me repeat this again. This answer gives you the answer when 10% of service charge is charged. So we look at 110%. Now if on top of that I have to pay 7% GST, I have to pay 107% of this particular amount. Okay, because the GST is charged after the service charge. Therefore, my final answer is $96.51. Okay, now I'm going on to example 13. Now example 13 is the other way round. Okay, example 13 is the other way round, and I want you to take into consideration whether the amount given to you has already counted in the GST or not. Okay, now let's take a look at example 13. Mr. Ramasamy received a 2,400 hospital bill inclusive of 7% GST for his stay in a private hospital. How much was his bill before the GST? Give your answer to the nearest cent. Now that means this 2,400 is has already included the GST, so it's 107%. I'm finding 100%, the original amount. So I take this over this times this. Therefore, I get this answer, 22,242.99. Okay, so these three examples, example 11, 12 and 13, all give you the examples on GST, how is it calculated. Okay, take note to tally the amount, whether the amount is before the GST or after the GST, because it makes a lot of difference. Okay, now the next section I'm going to is found on page 358. Today's section, I'm just going to do GST and hire purchase. Now, what do you mean by hire purchase? Okay, now look at page 358 of your textbook. Now, hire purchase means you do not pay the full amount immediately. You pay the amount month by month. Alright? So there are two terms that you need to know in hire purchase. Now, deposit is also known as the down payment. Okay, deposit is also known as the down payment. And there's something called monthly installment. Monthly installment is the amount paid per month. Okay, so these two terms you got to be very familiar with. Alright, now I'm going on to example 15. Okay, example 15 that is found on page 358 as well. Okay, now there are two options available for buying a laptop at Drop to Shop. Now there's option 1, which gives you cash price 2,000, or option 2, you pay 10% cash price and 12 months of installments at 180 each month. Calculate the higher purchase price. Which option would cost you more? Now the higher purchase price is this one. Okay, that means I must take 10% of $2,000, okay, plus 180 times 12. Now this one will give you the down payment or the deposit. Okay, the down payment or the deposit. Alright, so you key in the calculator, you will add up. Now you realize that the cash price is 2,000, the higher purchase price is 2,360. So they ask you which one will cost more. Of course, option 2 will cost more. Now bear in mind, higher purchase price is always higher or larger than the cash price, because higher purchase, they actually charge interest. Okay, alright. Now I'm going on to exercise 11C, your homework. Okay, your homework. Alright, exercise 11C. Now we are going to go through question 6 first. Let's look at question number 6 of your exercise 11C. This is found on page 360. They ask you to calculate the higher purchase price and which option would cost you more. Same thing, higher purchase price is 12 times 210, you get this. And if you compare option 1, which is 2,400, you will see that this one actually costs more. So option 2 will cost more. Okay, so your answer should be option 2. Alright, so that is your question number 6. Okay, I'm moving on to the next one, question number 7. Let's look at question number 7. 7 says that the fee for a 1-year course is 9,750, inclusive of 7% GST. What is the course fee before the GST? Now when it says inclusive of 7% GST, that means the GST is calculated inside already. So 107% will be this. I'm calculating 100%. You take this over this times this. Okay, you will get 9112.15. Alright? Okay? Alright. Now next question, I'm moving on, is question number 10. They also want you to calculate the higher purchase price and which option will cost you more. Now, I'm just doing what the question says. 10% of the cash price, which is over here, and this is the total amount for all the monthly installments. I add them up, I will get 51,600. Now, if you compare 51,600 to the option 1, 48,000, you realize that option 2 actually cost more. Option 2 actually cost more. Okay, so this is the section for exercise 11C. Alright, exercise 11C. Now, this part here, I'm going to go through the answer to workbook question. Okay, page 203, question number 3. Okay, question number 3. Now, how would we find the cost? We just take 107% times 1899. You will get this answer. So this is your answer to question number 3 of page 203. Now, page 206. Okay, I am going to show you step by step. Page 206, question number 9. Question number 9. Okay, now they ask you to fill in those values that are blurred or that you cannot see on the receipt. Okay, Now, so what are we supposed to do? Alright, now for the subtotal, I just need to add up everything. I'll get 110.80. That will give me the subtotal. Okay, next, they want service charge 10%. So I will find 10% of 110.80. I'll get 11.08. Alright, now then, total before the GST, I got to take this amount plus this amount. So I take 110.80 plus 11.08. I will get this as the total before the GST. Okay, alright. So after I want to charge, the GST is 7%. So the 7% is this. I get 8.53. Okay, 8.53. So what is the grand total? The grand total will be this plus this. This plus this will give me the grand total. Okay, will give me the grand total. Now I'm going to repeat. Service charge is 10%. You get this amount. Okay, GST of 7% is charged after the service charge, so it's 7% of this amount, so you get this. The final amount is, you add everything together, you will get 130.41. Okay, alright. The next question will be page 207, question 11, hire purchase. Okay, calculate the hire purchase price and which option would cost more. Now, like what we have always done, we look at what is the down payment here and what is the total amount paid by installments. We add them up together, we get 1185. If you compare 1185 to 1100, you will realize that this one costs more. Okay, so option 2 will cost more. Option 2 will cost more. Okay, so class, I've already completed the workbook exercise until page 207, question 11. Okay, feel free to look at the questions again by replaying the video or pausing the video. Okay, now next section, I'm going on to page 220, question 11. Page 220, question 11. Now this is a revision of the money exchange. Okay, 11 part A asks you to change ringgit to Singapore dollars. Remember, I told you, you must line this up, write the rate here, then this over this times this, you will get the answer. 11A, the answer is 39.40. Okay, likewise for 11B, I do the same thing. I line them up, I put the rate here, this over this times this, I will get the answer here. This over this times this, I'll get 70.40. Okay, now 11C, they want to find Malaysian ringgit. So when we line them up, we'll realize that we have to put the Singapore dollars here. So we got to write the rate the other way round and take this over this times this. Okay, we'll get 1140. Okay, part D is the same as your part C. You write the rate the other way round so that we can line it up. You take this over this times this, you will get a 645 Malaysian ringgit. Okay, alright, now I'm going on to the next question, and that is page 223, question number 14. Okay, now it's the same as what we have done earlier. In order to get the subtotal, I have to add up everything. So this will give me the subtotal. Okay, then service charge is 10% of the subtotal. I will get $21. Okay, $21. Now GST is charged after service charge, so I got to find the total before GST first, where I take 210 plus 21. 210 plus 21, I will get 231. So I will charge 7% GST to 231. I will get 16.17. 16.17. Okay. Now what is the grand total? The grand total will be this amount here. This amount is total with service charge. Okay, total with service charge. I must add the GST amount. Okay, I must add, then I can get the grand total here, which is 247.17. Which is 247.17. Okay, now this is the answer to page 223, number 14 of your workbook. Alright, now please remember to do your corrections if you get the answer wrong, and look through the video again if you require certain reminders or you forgot certain things. Okay, that's all for this lesson. Thank you, class.